Welcome back, my dear students. I know, exams are just around the corner, but don't you worry. We're going to quickly conquer this important chapter together, and you're gonna ace it.
I know probability can sometimes feel a bit tricky, a bit like a googly in cricket, right? But trust me, we're gonna break it down into simple, easy levels, just like your favorite video game. Chalo, let's start the mission and get you those full marks.
Alright, ready? Let's dive into level 1, conditional probability. Just think of it like this. You found a secret power-up in a game. It's all about what happens when you already have a piece of secret information.
So, let's look at this simple question. It's actually from your textbook, example 2. It's a great way to get the main idea. See, we have a clue. We know for a fact that at least one is a boy. Now, does this clue, this extra information, actually change the chances? Let's find out.
Okay, this right here is the key formula, bacho. This is your magic mantra for this level. That straight line, the pi, it just means given. So the formula is simply the probability of both things happening together, divided by the probability of the thing we already know, the clue. Simple, right? And here's how it works. Just look at this. At first, we had 4 total possibilities, right? But our clue, at least one boy, it completely changed the game. It cut down our options to just 3. So the probability went from 1 in 4 to 1 in 3. See? Ekdam makhan concept hai ye.
Great job clearing level 1. You're doing so well, I'm so proud. Now, let's head to level 2. Here, we're going to see how different events can team up. We'll be looking at something called the multiplication rule and the super important idea of independence. So the multiplication rule is how we find the chance of 2 things happening one after the other. It's pretty straightforward. It's the probability of the first event happening multiplied by the probability of the second event happening after the first one is already done. That second part is key.
This is a perfect example of what we call dependent events. What you do first, it affects what can happen next. It's just like example 8 in your textbook, where you're drawing balls from an urn and not putting them back. The first draw changes everything for the second draw. Remember, what happens first really matters.
And this slide makes it super clear. Look at the difference. On one side, you have dependent events, like a chain reaction. But on the other, you have independent events, like tossing a coin twice. They have nothing to do with each other. And because of that, look how the formula becomes so much simpler. It's just P of E times P of F. So before you solve any problem, always ask yourself, are these events linked or are they separate?
Okay, take a deep breath. It's time. We've reached the boss level, the famous Bayes' theorem. Now listen, this is a huge favorite for the exam paper setters, bacho, so you have to pay very close attention. This one can get you a lot of marks, for sure.
Now this is the real magic of Bayes' theorem. Usually we'd try to find the probability of getting a red ball, but here we already know the result. We have a red ball in our hand. We have to work backward to find out where it came from. We have to think like a detective solving a mystery. For these detective-style questions, a tree diagram like this one is your absolute best friend. Seriously, it helps you draw out all the possible ways you could have ended up with that red ball. Maybe it came from bag I, or maybe from bag 2. Seeing these paths is the first step to cracking the case with Bayes' theorem.
Okay, I know. That formula looks really scary, like some long, complicated code.
But don't you worry. Let me tell you a secret. It's actually really simple. The number on top is just the probability of the specific path you're interested in. And the number on the bottom, that's just the sum of the probabilities of all the possible paths that lead to the same result. That's it. Let's see it in action.
See? When you break it down into these simple steps, even a huge Bayes' theorem question becomes totally easy peasy. First, you figure out the probability of the one path you care about. Then you add up the probabilities of all the ways you could have gotten a red ball. You just divide the first number by the second and boom, you have your answer. And trust me, this type of question is a 5-marker for sure.
And you did it. You've cleared the boss level. That is fantastic work. Okay, for our final round, let's do a super quick revision of all the most important points you need for your exam. Jaldi se, take a screenshot of this slide right now. This is your ultimate cheat sheet for revision. Keep it on your phone. And listen to me, the most important tip of all, the number 1 rule, is to always read the question carefully. Make sure you know exactly what they're asking. If you do that, trust me, that's half the battle won right there. All the very best for your exams, my dear students. You have worked so hard, and I know you're going to do great. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below and tell me which chapter is giving you the most trouble. We will conquer it together in our next explainer. Bye for now.